Is this working? Turn that off there. Bum, 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 bum. Is this working yet? Let's see. Ah, there we are. I think so. Good evening all. Let me just turn that off. Hope you can hear me, see me. If you can, give us a thumbs up underneath, and I know it's working okay while I twiddle with the settings this end. It looks like it's going okay. Or stick a comment in the box or something. Yeah, we've got some thumbs, that's good. Right, good evening all. Hope you've had a jolly weekend. I've been busy doing the spare parts section, getting that organised, sorting out some spares for machines. So if you haven't sussed that already, let's put the right screen up, that would help, wouldn't it? Here we go. Thanks Stevie, thanks Peter. So in the coin up section, under the menu, I'm going to redo this menu because it's getting a bit long-winded, but that's a job for another day. But at the bottom, you've got spares and supplies. And these are the spares that I've catalogued so far. I still want to fiddle with the layout of the page a little bit, but you know, it doesn't stop it from working for the meantime. So just as with anything else, click on a picture, it blows up to a bigger picture. Click on the little offer button, put an offer in, I don't know, what should we say for a payout cup, £10 or whatever, and it lights up green just like everything else. Edit it, £15 say, £15, and those appear on in your account offers as well. And if you change your mind, don't need the bit anymore, whatever, stick it to 0, click the button and it disappears off. So it works the same as everything else on there. I've got, I was thinking earlier on, there's 4 bandit mechanisms to put on. I think there's 3 Seegers, which have got bits missing. They need clocks, and I think they all need clocks, and I think they 2 or if not 3 will need payout slides. They're incomplete mechs. And then there's also Mills mech, which is complete on Old Penny as well, which is unusual. Complete and working. So to say, try to do pictures and great big long descriptions of what's there and what isn't, I will stick them on the turntable and do a 360-degree little video clip. And then I've got to alter the page a little bit so I can put videos on here. So I'll try and do that in the next day or 2. And there's some more bits, there's more Allwyn Centre bits of artwork, I think I mentioned the other day. There's some fortune teller artwork. And I can't remember what else is in the bottom of the box now, but anyway, there's small bits and bobs to come. And then I'll do the spares wanted bit. So on that page, there will be just a simple form to stick in to put what ladder, anything you're looking for. So just type in, you know, whatever, Mills bandit handle, Brian's knob, whatever it is you need. And they'll come out as a list of bits then on the page for hopefully other people to rummage in their box of spares in the shed and find that bit that you need. And then the supplies bits will work the same. That's for things like fortune teller cards, gift boxes, swag for machines, you know, the kind of the consumable stuff that machines use basically. A couple of people have asked about shipping out bits and bobs. Yes, no problem. That was already in the, I don't know, somewhere in here in the help department. So I've stuck a note at the top here. Yes, you can pack and ship stuff anywhere you like, just for whatever it costs to ship it out. Or store it here until you can pick it up. So if you're coming to view maybe in a week or 2's time, or coming to drop something off to sell or whatever, then not a problem. I can leave them here. And you can, you know, collect then obviously. So that's good. That's another bit of the site up and running. As I say, just a little bit of tweaking to do on the layout maybe. But it's there and it's function. All these bits are real things that are for sale. They're not just kind of test images. So they are all here. Lots of cash boxes. Anybody knows what this weird one's, I can't think what this one's off of. Very tall, thin, strange shaped cash box, a wall machine of some sort, I'm sure. Another tall one as well. I sort of half recognise them out of something, but I'm not sure what. We've got a bit of a Brenco swinging swinger for whoever was looking for a Brenco swinging swinger. Look, and a Brenco payout cup. They are, you can build your own swinging swinger in bits. So that's that. Tonight at midnight, there's books finishing. If I clicked on the books page, wouldn't it? All these Coinop books finish tonight at midnight. So have a look on your shelf. If there's any books you haven't got, don't forget to stick an offer in, because they'll all sell for whatever they go for. Again, I think some of them haven't got any offers on at the minute. Last time I looked into the database. So they could be yours very cheap. So pays to stick some offers in. So that's that. And is there anything else to tell you about? There's no more advertising stuff going on yet. There's no more machines going on yet. We did have arrive at the weekend a very nice Film Stars, the curved veneered case Film Stars. I'll get that on next week. Do you think it was a Film Stars or was it Greyhound? One of those single wheelers. Somebody wanted, I think they wanted a different one. That's typical, isn't it? What was somebody wanting? Oh yeah, White City. Yeah, another one of these, basically, the same as that. I'm sure it's Film Stars. I could go in the other room and have a look, but anyway. So if you want one of those, there's one coming up in the next few days. I can't think of anything else immediately that I've done since Friday. So any questions of anybody? Anybody need to know anything? Books as well, obviously they can be posted out, posters, anything. The only thing I don't really want to ship out is machines, just because they're machines and they tend to get tipped upside down in trucks and things. I have used for big things myself a few times. Anyvan.com, they're not too bad. And also several times, although I've not used them, they've come to us a good few times, the Elephant House, to collect for people, are Abbey Antiques. And they, again, they're because they're a very small company, they tend to, you know, it's the problem with the machines is when they go out on the big network carriers and they get, you know, gone from hub to hub to hub, tipped upside down, sideways in vans and thrown about on one thing or another. So if it's a small firm that's going to go direct from us to you, wrapped up nicely in the back of the van, that's not too bad. But as I say, with the machines, it's not a problem storing them until you're ready to come and collect them, or if you're planning on dropping something off to sell and pick up at the same time, do that by all means. So this is what we've got selling at the moment. I think it's 29 machines, isn't there? So it'll be interesting to see how they all do. I've still got to tweak one of these videos, haven't I, that I did wrong somewhere along the line. That Buckley, I think. It's on my jobs list. My ever-growing jobs list to do. Yes, so anybody, let's have a look at the questions down here. Anybody got any questions or comments or ideas, suggestions or anything else? Somebody did ask me at the weekend about with the spares. Let's just go over there again. Spares. How long they'd be listed for? Because as they kind of observed, you either need a spare part for your machine or you don't. So there's, you know, it's not, and because they're cheap, it's not so much of a decision process as spending a few £100 on a machine potentially. So at the moment, they have just gone on, I think, for the 3 weeks, the same as everything else does. But I might shorten that down in the future, perhaps to a couple of weeks or something. See how it goes, see what people think. as to how that goes. A couple of people have asked about doing fixed price things, especially for cheaper things like spares. Why don't I do it, etc. There is a reason, and it's because, you know, ultimately my job is to try and do the best for the buyer and for the seller. And as I said before, you're sitting in that middle, trying to do the best for both sides, which is never easy. So doing it as we're doing it from a seller's point of view, you're hopefully getting the best price that you can get. And from the buyer's point of view, you know, you're only going to pay what you're prepared to pay, because that's your offer at the end of the day. And also it gives everybody the chance. So let's, you know, take for an example, if we had a spare part, I don't know, let's say a Brian's backflash, there we are. So if someone puts that on at a fixed price for 20 quid or something, the first person who sees it, who wants it, is going to buy it for 20 quid. Deal's done. That might be within an hour of it going on the website. Now, the disadvantage to the seller is that somebody else might have paid £25 for it, or £30 or whatever. So they're not necessarily going to get the highest price, although it's a quicker sale. And from the buyer's point of view, it kind of seems unfair, because unless you're constantly glued to your computer, if you're not the first one to hit the buy button, you haven't got the chance to buy it. And if that's a bit you've been waiting for 6 months to fix your machine for, you're going to be a bit peed off because you didn't get the chance to buy it. So at least with putting the offers in, or with a general auction, everyone has a fair chance. And that is always the thing with an auction of any kind, whether it's a sealed bids auction like this or a normal open auction, is everyone has the chance to buy it. So in my opinion, it works best for both buyer and seller, although it takes a little bit longer. But I'm sure no one's that desperate to sell their spare part tomorrow, as it were. So that's the reason why. We'll see how it goes. You know, if people don't like it, and if you know, more people than not want to do it differently, well, then we'll look at doing it differently. But to my mind, it does work to everyone's advantage. It makes no difference to me of what I earn out of it, because we're not charging any commission. It doesn't make a difference to me if you buy it in a day or 3 days, or if you buy it for £10 or £50. So as I say, I'm just trying to do my best for buyer and seller, and ultimately keep everyone happy. Right, let's see what we say here. Rocco, I'm at work on my phone, just checking I can chat. Yes, you can chat, so that's interesting. Some people said the chat wouldn't work on phones, so well done for figuring out how that works. I haven't actually tried it on a phone, so obviously I'm doing it. So there we are. Mr. Treefrog, still think open auction, not blind, would be better, as for this example, as you would be annoyed by losing by a penny. Yes, that's true. Well, you can't lose by a penny because you only take bids in pounds, but I take your point. But, you know, I suppose at the end of the day, no system is perfect. There's always, you know, a compromise with whatever you do. But as I say, we'll see. You know, we'll give it a few months and see what happens. The first batch of machines did very well. I mean, everyone who bought those first 40 machines has been happy, and the seller was happy as well. So there's not much more I can do than that, really. We'll see how these machines now do going rolling on, whether they get the prices that people are happy to accept for them or not. Because of course that first batch was all, I mean, none of it has reserve on it anymore, because we don't do it like that. But you know what I mean. They were all going to sell regardless of what price they made. Whereas the ones that are for sale at the moment will be largely, not all of them actually, because some of them here will sell for whatever they go for, but not all of them. But hopefully they'll all achieve the prices that, you know, the buyers, the sellers are happy to accept for them. And we'll see how we go. Stevie says, I've always commented via my phone, never been an issue for me. Oh, well, maybe it was, might have just been that they hadn't signed into the thing, because you have to be signed in, don't you, to comment on things, so perhaps that was what their problem was. But a couple of people said they couldn't get it to work, but there we are. The whole YouTube thing is new. This kind of YouTubing is new to me as well, so I'm not entirely sure how it works. I've been just sticking videos up for the auction for 10 years or whatever, just little video clips, but doing this live streaming and chatting and interactive stuff I'm still learning how it all works. So if anybody knows better than me, by all means, do say. Now, don't forget, people who missed us on Friday, that this first lot of machines, so if you scroll to the bottom of the machines from Fun up to the Extraordinary, so these 6, 11, 12, 13, 14 machines that finish next Sunday night, the 27th, there won't be any viewing next weekend because I'm out doing family stuff, which is very unusual, but all this week, one of the days I won't be around, I'm not sure which yet, to be honest, but I can probably, it's flexible enough, I can probably work around. So if anybody's coming this way this week or desperately wants to come and see any of these machines, just get in touch and we'll, do whatever we can to get you in to have a look at any of them. But hopefully anyone who's wanting to come and see them already has done. And of course, if you've got any questions about them, or if it's need an extra picture of something that's not clear from the videos or whatever, then just ask and I'll sort it out, take an extra picture, whatever you need. Mr. Treefrog, what about at least having a flag showing how many bids on each item have been made? Would help bids on items with none and also give you some idea of competition. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I've thought about and I've spoken to other people about. And it's a tricky one, because if something has, last time they were all more or less the same, although they're all different people. There was lots of bidders, if you like. But I think it averaged out about 6 offers per machine on those 40 machines, if I remember rightly. If you look back in the video, I kind of went through it. But just because there's 6 offers on a machine doesn't necessarily mean they're all high or they're all low, come to that. And just because there's only one doesn't mean it's low, There might be one very buyer that's very keen to buy a particular machine and is offering real top money for it. So it doesn't really tell you anything. And if anything, it might put people off, because if there's 6 offers on something, there might, well, there's no point because there's 6 other people after that. But as I say, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're high offers. They might only be at half what the seller is looking for. So I don't know. It is all a it's all new. It's seeing how it goes. It's a new way of doing things. So it's just a case of seeing how it goes, seeing what we can improve, and going from there, really. Peter says, if I was selling a machine, it would be interesting, but no more than that. Yeah, this is it. It's like people have said, well, why, if I've sold a machine, if I've accepted an offer for £500 and there's 5 other ones, why won't you tell me what the other lower offers were? Well, what does it achieve? The whole point is this is designed to be like a proper auction is to an extent, but less so than this, is confidential. So no one else knows what you've offered. You don't know what anyone else has offered. And as a seller, what we do is we give you the highest price because the other ones are not relevant. It was interesting last time when I looked through them when I went through the results summary to see actually how close they were, which was really interesting. There was always an odd one or two really low kind of cheeky bids, and fair enough because everything was there to go. And I think if I remember right, it was the clock seemed quite cheap. Something seemed pretty cheap, but most of them were at the price they ought to have been, or even higher than quite a lot of us thought in some cases. But the actual offers were pretty close, and some of them, as I said at the time, the winning offers was within less than it would have been in an ordinary auction. In other words, sometimes it was only a fiver or that odd amount that people had offered. Those odd few pounds had made all the difference, rather than being, you know, £20, £30 or £50 or whatever it would have been in an auction. So I think the collectors out there, the market has a lot more kind of intelligence isn't the word, but you know what I mean. It more of a what's the word I'm looking for? You kind of all think the same. You all know, really what a machine is worth, is what I'm trying to say. You might hope, of course, you hope you're going to get it for half price, but you know in your heart of hearts that's not going to happen. There's hundreds of people on the site, as there is any auction up and down the land or eBay or anywhere else these days. Everything's on the internet. There are no bargains anymore. We all know that. If you want something, you have to pay market value for it or more. That is just the reality. You're not going to find anything on the internet cheap unless you're extremely rare and extremely lucky. You know, that might happen on a buy it now on eBay if you spot it the second it goes on, but that's about it. Anything in an auction always makes its money. And that is the argument these days of I can't understand people believing in the hype that some auctioneers give out to justify charging them 30% to sell their goods, plus the 35% they're charging the other way. Because as long as they're on the internet, as long as they've got a presence, any auction house in the land now is going to get the same price pretty much. Because all the buyers, I'm sure all of you lot look on Sarum.com and Easy Live and the various other ones all the time. You've got alerts set up. We all know what machines are coming up in what auctions up and down the land. And we all know if we want them, we're going to have to pay the price for them. It's kind of a good thing in a way. And especially as, again, you know, from a seller's point of view, sellers can be pretty confident they are going to get the market value for stuff these days. And that might not be what they want, but it will be the market value for the machine in this case, as we're talking about machines. So, yeah. Peter says, how about offering sealed bids or open auction? Yeah, maybe. Mr. Treefrog, I'm a gambler. As such, open auction drives me to bid. Yes, I suppose it does. I don't know, you see, if there's something I want in an auction, somewhere for my own collection, if I want it, I'll just buy it. Because if I want it, for me, as long as I can afford it, it doesn't matter what it costs, because it's not, I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, I was saying it's not worth anything because I'm never going to sell it. So therefore, once I've bought it, it no longer has any value, because something's only worth what you can sell it for. And that's a concept. As an auctioneer, you try to get into people's heads over the years. You know, just because we sold something in the auction before, we always used to have this problem. One auction would come and we'd get a really high price for, I don't know, Brian's Pyramid, let's say, and the next auction, someone else would come in with Brian's Pyramid, want the same price. And you have to explain to them, look, there was 2 buyers last time battling it out that pushed that price to 1,500 quid because they both desperately wanted that pyramid. This month, one of those buyers has now got a pyramid. So there's only one buyer left in the market potentially, unless somebody else has come along. So it's not going to make necessarily 1,500 quid, you know. Auction fee, so on and so on and so on. Something is only ever worth what you can sell it for, and that's true of every market, whether it's slot machines, housing, gold, stocks and shares, classic cars, anything. It's only worth what you can sell it for. And that is a thing that people have to learn, basically. Alan says, why don't you put the highest offer so far? Because then you get into the auction situation, you get into sniping, you can get into last minute, you know, that last minute rush at a minute to midnight of people, you know, trying to outdo each other. Someone's internet goes down, our internet goes down on the web server, or something happens and people get really, really upset because I was trying to get my bid in at the last minute and I didn't, because people leave it till the last minute. So that is why. This is a much more relaxed way of doing it. You've got time to think about it. You've got time to come and have a look at the machines if you want to. Look at the videos 2 or 3 times, have a think about it. Put your offer in, change your mind a few days later, put your offer up a bit, down a bit. It's just a completely different way of doing things. And I have to say, so far, the vast majority of people like it. I haven't had any. There's lots of suggestions, and I'm not dismissing any suggestions. I like suggestions because out of all of them, you usually pick something out that's a good idea. But there hasn't been any real criticism, real dislike of this way of doing things. And most people think it's a good idea. They like it. A bit more calm and collected. People have been again at the weekend saying, oh, this is great because we've got time, you know, we can pull the machine to bits, we can take the mech out, there's no one jostling us and getting upset because we've pulled the mech out, but they want the mech in so they can play the machine or whatever, and the time's ticking by to the auction start and so on and so on. Spend as much time as you like, take it to bits, put it back together again, play it, go home and think about it, come back again and have another look if you like, whatever. So it's a different way of doing things. Mr. Treefog says, but if it was not open auction, you would not get the battle. Yes, but you're always going to have a closing date. However you do it, there's always a closing date to an auction. There has to be. So you always got that last minute thing of, for whatever reason, people bid at the last minute. I'm the same in proper auctions, in auction houses. I let everybody else bid. I can't be bothered to stand there bidding from the get-go. I wait till everybody else finishes bidding, and if I'm still interested, then I'll bid. So even in real auctions, I do exactly what I'm criticising other people for doing. It's just human nature. We all do it. eBay, if I rarely buy anything on eBay. Watches I buy occasionally. I leave it to the last 10 seconds or whatever before bidding, because again, I can't be bothered putting a bid in, getting outbid, putting another bid in. I leave it till the last minute. If it's still in my price range, I'll stick a bid in. If it isn't, I don't bother. So I don't think there's any way of changing that. You know, because you have always got to have that cut-off point somehow or other. And there is that danger, I'm sure it's happened to all of us, of online bidding, be it on eBay or be it on Saleroom or Easy Live or any of the other platforms. When the internet goes down, either your internet or the auctioneer's internet. I've been in auction rooms when the internet's gone down and it's chaos. You stood there half an hour waiting for them to reset everything, reset all theirs, try and find their passwords because they've forgotten them and all this palaver. It happens. That's the peril of tech. It happens. And for the moment, until everything gets more reliable, there's no way around that. Peter says, I find the viewing process great. Lots of time to look very closely. Yeah, that is what everyone who's been has said. It's time, and it gives me more time to chat to people, or whatever. But you know, to try and take reasonable photographs. I don't ever say I'm a good photographer, but I do try and take reasonable photographs of machines, so there's not too many reflections on them and they're in focus or whatever. And the videos people are finding really, really helpful because you can see all the way around the machines inside and out and see them working. So from that, hopefully you can make a good informed choice of what you're prepared to pay for something. And that comes with having the time to do it and not being in a rush and not having that deadline for an auction. Where stuff has got to be done by X date. So we can spend a bit of time. It's like all the spare parts. Ordinarily, for those of you who remember the Elephant House, spare parts have very rarely got photographed. There just wasn't time to do them. There was 40 or 50 spare parts, and because they were low value stuff, I had to concentrate my time on photographing the machines and the enamel signs and the fairground art and the stuff that was £500, not the stuff that was £5, because unfortunately there just wasn't enough time to photograph everything. But now again, drop some spare parts off, they will get photographed and they will go on the website. They just might be a day or two before they appear, that's all. But what's the hurry, Without that deadline, does it really matter if they go on Tuesday or Wednesday? It doesn't, does it? This is the point. But when it goes on, even if it's the humblest little thing, it has a picture. But, somebody will have a Jubilee band and they'll need a locking screw because they haven't got one. Or somebody will need a button for their Jameson wall machine or whatever. So hopefully this will do someone a good turn. Yes, and the Williamsons are very welcome again, because Shirley bought me a very nice chocolate cake. Thank you very much. Which I had the last piece of this afternoon. So do come again next weekend with more cake. Not sure it's doing my diet much good, but yes, as we always say, powered by tea and cake, and it's quite literally true. That's what got the website built in the first place. So yeah, those who missed the start, I was just saying on these spares, there's 4 Bandit mechs to put on in varying conditions. One, there's an old Penny Mills mech which is all there and working, and then there's 3 Seeker mechs which have got various bits missing. So rather than trying to do a photograph and a big long description of what's missing, I'll stick them on my little turntable and do a little twiddly video. And then you can all see for yourselves what they need, etc. So I'll try and get them on the next day or two. Because I've got to write all the code of this page so it sticks videos on as well. So yeah, because I've got to go out either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm away on a little job, but been the next day or two anyway. I'll get that done. I already had a message through about the Brian's thing about, is it that way or is it that way? It is the way the photograph is. I know some machines they go on one way and some, is it the 3-ball machines they go one way and the single ball machines they go the other way or something? I can't remember. I'm not an expert on Brian's machines. But it is the way the photograph shows. And you can't reverse it because of the screen printing, because it's all white on the back. But it's a very nice quality, well-made one. So if you need a Brian's backflash, you'll have to put up with it going in that direction. Last of my tea's gone cold again. So yeah, don't forget, anyone who missed the start, that these books all finish at midnight tonight. They're all to sell whatever they make, so if they're going to make £1, they go for £1, simple as that. So if you haven't got any of these books, stick an offer in. You never know. They can be posted out to you, not a problem. Or leave them here until you're here to collect something else. Right, how are we doing over here? Any more questions off of anybody? Or ideas or suggestions? Stick them in the comment box. And we'll deal with those. So to say, yeah, I'm going to change the this menu layout a bit when I get around to it. It's not an not a desperate job, but it's getting a bit long and gangly. As the whole site develops, it will just keep on changing and hopefully improving. Let's have a look at the wants. How are we doing over here? I was saying to someone earlier on the phone, it's noticeable that the majority of what people want to buy these days is the later electromechanical stuff, which is really interesting. Hardly any early stuff. Which makes me think I've collected all the wrong stuff over the years, maybe. Who knows? But it also seems to be harder to find. There's not so much of it survived. So, yeah, it's not surprising really that it's hard to get. And you can see people are offering, serious money for it. They're not expecting to buy for 50 quid. But at the moment, we just can't find any to sell people. So, hey ho, if you've got any of these and you're tempted to sell, let me know. Or you know anybody who has. If you don't know, those who haven't played around with the wanted bits yet, if you want to buy something, let's do an example. What was not on here that we could want to buy? Let's say we want to buy a, what do people like to buy? A crane. We haven't got any cranes on there, have we? Haven't had a crane for a while. So let's buy a crane, or try to. So you go to Coin Up, search by type, a type of machine, a crane. A crane. Let's see, what crane would we like to buy? I think we'd like to buy a nice novelty merchantman. There we are. We'd like to buy one of these. So just click here on the wanted ad, place a wanted ad. And you say you're prepared to pay, what's a merchantman going to be these days? A couple of grand for a nice one, I suppose. £2,000. Click that button. Again, the buttons light up green if you're doing anything with them, so you can edit them. And they also appear in under your account page on your wanted ads. Got a couple of little example ones on my example account here, so you can change that there to 1800, say. We felt we've been a bit generous. So then that wanted ad will now appear firstly on the home page of the CoinSlot section here. Is the first one, as it's the latest wanted advert. And obviously on the latest wanted page for Coin Up machines. And on the actual page, the crane page itself, it now says down here, we have a collector waiting to buy, offering £1,800. And if you've got one to sell, contact us here to sell your crane. So that's how it works. You've got all the historic prices down here we've sold them for in the past. Which, let's have a look. I think £1,800, interestingly, is the highest price we got for one. Plus 10%, obviously. So yeah, if you change your mind or buy one somewhere else. Again, to delete it, just stick a 0 in, edit, and away it goes. And that works again the same for books and the same for enamel signs and stuff. It will work differently for slot machine spares because they're not catalogued in the same way. Because to try and make a database of every slot machine spare, you know, it's going to take me a lifetime to do one of every slot machine, never mind every spare for every slot machine. So we just literally do a list. As I say, there'll be in the next day or two, there'll be a form on this page, spares wanted, just to put in what it is you want. Just type it in yourself, whatever it is you want. And then there'll just appear as a list of what people want to buy. And hopefully that will tempt a few bits and bobs out of the woodwork. I've got a box of bits I need to sort out in the shed. So I'll try and kick it off a bit with a few bits I've got locking about. Any more questions of anybody? How are we doing for time? 8:45. Anybody still watching? Yes, they are. Don't forget to give us a thumb up thing under the video. Apparently that's the thing to say if you're on YouTube. Don't really know what it does, but ultimately it's supposed to help the YouTube thing find more people into whatever it is we're talking about. So in theory, if we still keep thumbing up the videos of slot machines, etc., other people around the world who are interested in slot machines should find us, and in theory that should bring us more collectors, hopefully with stuff to sell, or who want to buy whatever it is you are selling. And the more people we find, the better for everyone. Simple as that. Also, don't forget those of you whose stuff I'm selling, whether it be it machines or books or signs or whatever it is, to put links to the site if you use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. You know, let your friends, people you know, fellow collectors who might not know about the site, know that there's stuff for sale. You don't have to tell them it's yours if you don't want to, of course. Just say, oh look, have you heard about this site? There's slot machines for sale or enamel signs for sale or whatever it is. Just help spread the word, and hopefully makes us nice and busy again. Stevie says, how does it work if you put up a wanted ad for say 1,500, someone has a machine that matches what you are after but it's not pristine, etc., and only worth 1,000 in your eyes? It's not, the price you offer is not fixed, it's not a contract, it's just gives people an idea of what somebody is prepared to pay. So so yeah, if you've, you know, here whoever's offered 495 for a Shoot Them Bones machine, that doesn't mean to say they have to pay that if one comes along. It's to hopefully tempt somebody who's got one to think, oh, okay, there's somebody prepared to pay 500 quid for that. Yeah, I might sell that. Obviously, it always depends on condition. So just the same, if someone out there has got one, they get it to us, we photograph it, video it, give it a fair description like everything else is done, stick it on the site, and then you choose. As you just said, you might think, well, no, actually that one's not worth £1,500 or whatever. I'm only prepared to pay £1,000 for that one, so you put your offer in at £1,000, or it might be better than you were hoping. So it's just, you know, there's no point doing something daft like putting in a £10,000 offer for a machine you know is only worth 500 quid just to try and tempt it on the market, because that obviously would, it'd be stupid and we'd all know it was wrong. As I was saying earlier, pretty much by and large everyone knows within a bit what a machine is worth. The point of it is to show that there are some serious buyers out there prepared to pay the correct money for something. So, you know, if you think to the old days of an auction, if you were selling stuff, you had no idea of if what you were going to put in auction in our auction that month if anybody wanted to buy it or not. You just thought, well, I'll put it in and see what happens. Most of the time stuff sold, but sometimes, as I said before, some months just nobody wanted a particular machine. And even though we never accepted machines with what I consider to be too high reserve on them, which is why we always sold 90 to 100% of the stuff we offered, very high rate compared to everybody else. There were occasions when, you know, nobody wanted a Jennings Governor that month, for example, and it just didn't sell, even though it wasn't a high reserve, just nobody wanted it. So here we know at the moment there are people that want all these machines. So you know it's worth bringing that machine into us to sell if you want to sell one. So that's the purpose of it. Where did I get to on the question? Stevie says, how do you go about viewing, seeing photos and negotiating? Oh, you mean if somebody, yeah. So it works the same way. In as much as, so these machines here that people want at the moment, if somebody contacted us and say, right, I've got a TikTok, there we are, I've got a TikTok, I want to sell it. They get the TikTok to us, we photograph it, list it on the website, and it goes for offers the same as everything else. So it's not a direct contract between you and the who wants to buy something and the person who wants to sell it. It goes to offer to everybody else just the same. So the purpose is just to purely as a gauge of the market, if you like. As I say, if you're looking to sell something out of your collection, you can see on here that at the moment there is definitely at least one person, or 2 or 3 persons, or whatever it will say, looking for that machine. So I think this one, for instance, an easy push at the moment. 2 people want an easy push at the moment, so you know you're going to have a bit of a battle on that. About 450 quid. So that's how that's the work of it. Peter says, if you advertise for a machine and some replies, do they have to bring them to yours, or do we get their details and go to theirs? If yours happens, it was not good enough and the price you offered. Yep, as I say, I obviously need to explain this a bit better, which I'll try and do, put another help page up or something. So if you advertise, you want to buy something, it's not a direct contact between them and you. Nothing is. Everything is completely anonymous and comes through us. So no one knows who's offering any of these prices. The same as anything for sale, no one knows who owns them unless you, as the owner, tell people it's your machine. So if you've put an advert on for wanting a Challenger, Mr. Smith has got a Challenger for sale. He says, oh, okay, yeah, I'd be interested in selling my Challenger. He brings his Challenger to us. We photograph it, video it, put it on the website, and then you and everybody else stick your offers in. Because as I say, it may be, you know, you've perhaps said you're prepared to pay £500 for a Challenger, but the one that arrives you don't like. It's not been restored, it's been restored badly. You've gone off the idea, you bought one somewhere else last week, whatever the situation may be. And again, you've got the time to come and look at it, inspect it, say, well, yeah, no, it's not really good enough, I'm not interested, or, well, okay, was hoping for a better one. That one's all right if I can buy it for 350 or whatever. So you put your offer in at 350. Your offer isn't fixed at the £500 you wanted to add in. It's just a way for the market to know that somebody out there is looking for that particular machine or sign or fairground art or whatever at around that kind of value. So hopefully that makes sense. Paul says, evening Paul, hope you're well. I've still got to sort that video out of your bimbo box, etc. I'll do that. Stevie says, once the machine arrives here and you get a video for the person who wanted it, is it then offered to everyone else? Yes, it is offered to everyone else. No, you don't get first refusal. Would there be any point in giving the first refusal to somebody? Not really. Again, as I say, you have to think of this from both perspectives. You know, you as a buyer, you want first refusal, of course, because you don't want anybody else to buy it, and you want to try and buy it as cheap as you can. On the other side of the coin is the seller, who's made the effort to get their machine to us, and they of course want to get the best price they can for it. So as I was saying earlier on, you know, we have to all be realistic that in this day and age of the internet and every collector in the world knowing about it, assuming they want to know about it, bargains don't exist anymore. We all like to think they do, but the reality is they don't. Not anything's on the internet. You know, if you're lucky through some string of contacts or someone who knows somebody who's got something in their shed, yeah, okay, maybe you might buy something on the cheap. But anything on any website, on eBay, on SaleRoom, on live auctions, on easy auctions, on any of those things, there's never ever going to be a bargain. And we all know that. When was the last time we ever saw a bargain in an auction? They just don't exist. So park that idea altogether and be realistic about it. What's more important is getting the thing that you want, or selling whatever it is you want to sell and getting a good price for what it is you're trying to sell. So it's in everyone's interest that whatever it is makes the fair market price. And if it makes a fair market price, no one's lost out, have they? Everyone's a winner. Just answer that question, thank you. No problem. Pete says thanks, got it now. Yeah, as I say, it is like I said, you know, right at the start of this project, I know exactly how it works because I've built it and it's all in my thick head. And when I did that very first initial test, some people were very kind and spent a bit of time fiddling around and playing with the website and seeing what they could break and what didn't work and what they didn't understand, because I knew how it was supposed to work and the idea behind it, because I've been programming it for months. But when you unleash something completely different onto people that's never been done before, it does take a bit of getting your head round and explaining. And although the concept is simple, really, because it's different, it does take a bit of explaining, and I don't necessarily explain it very well. Now, I did try in the help pages, as you know, these to get these bits as short and concise as I could do. Although they're only short, they actually took a long time to write, because trying to condense things down into you know, kind of bite-sized chunks of information which is easy to understand. And that's not meant in an insulting way at all. It's, as I say, because it's a different thing. You completely start from scratch. Everyone knows what an auction is, and everyone knows what eBay is. And I think somewhere I did say, you know, is it an auction? No. Is it an eBay? No. It's something completely different. Once people get the hang of it, they say, oh yeah, it's great. Yep, I understand it now. Yes, here, look how it works. It isn't an auction. It isn't a buy it now. So what is it? And then, you know, try to explain it. And that page, those few paragraphs, took about half a day to write, believe it or not. And sending it to other people, and they read that, does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. Okay, right, I'll rewrite it, and backwards and forwards and so on. Until hopefully it made sense to people. Oops. Oh, that'll do for now. Okie dokie, any more questions? Any bright ideas? Anything that needs explaining? Don't by any means think you're daft because you don't get it. If something doesn't make sense, I need to know it doesn't make sense so I can explain it better or change it or you know, put a bit more help up or whatever. It's all you know, all a kind of learning curve. I think, you know, people, once you've used it a bit, once you bought something, you'll know how the buying thing works, obviously, and once you've sold something, you'll know how the selling side of it works, and then hopefully you'll be on a roll. How are we doing? People still a few people watching, yes. Give us a thing, don't forget to do that. So books, just another quick reminder, these books all finish at midnight tonight, not a minute past midnight, so it will all just disappear at midnight automatically. So check your bookshelf if you missed any of those. They're all good books. They're all to sell whatever they make, so by all means put a cheeky offer in, because you never know, you might be lucky. Under the coin op, we've now got the spares bit going. Oh, my internet has just slowed down for some reason. The stream's still going out. Coin op spares. Works the same way. Click on something to get a bigger picture. Click on the make your offer button, stick your offer in. And, you know, again, make an offer for something, £5 in for that. You'll offer a £5, lights up there. Change it to a tenner if you like. Change it to a tenner, or if you want to get rid of it, if you don't want to need that bit anymore, stick a 0 in, and it disappears. Then the next day or two, where it says spares wanted, there'll be a form here to fill in. Very simple, just a kind of a 1-box form, probably, or might have to be 2 boxes, to say if you want a bandit handle, if you want a spring for a payout slide, or you need a handle for your all-win, or I don't know, a leg for your pushy shooter or something. Just type in whatever it was you need. It won't be a yeah, there's not a pre-made catalogue like there is with machines, etc. So it'll just be typing whatever it is you need. Because of that, obviously I'll have to vet these things before they go on, so we don't have sort of people typing in rubbish. But so hopefully that'll be going by well, certainly the next day or two, and hopefully we'll be finding bits for people, get those machines fixed. Bellamatic says, will the sale price of the spares be made available? Yes, they will, same as everything else. I haven't actually got round to putting the prices that first batch of machines sold for onto the website yet, just because of the way of all the old prices came from the old database of auction records from years ago, and these new things were just sold, come off a different area of the website, not to bore you with details. So I just got to build that little bit yet. But yeah, the same with the books, the spares, everything we sell from now on, all the prices will go on there. If you want to know what the first batch of machines sold for, there's a video, if you go back on the YouTube channel, it says sale results. I'll probably do one again because people seem to like that, and to sort of have a chew the fat over what stuff sold for, whether it was too much, too little, or whatever, really. Pete's signing off. Nighty night. See you soon, no doubt. Paul says, last week you asked who made the push 'em off machine. Oh yes, John William Stickley. JDS, John William Stickley. Excellent. Thank you for that. I'll make a note of that. I'll update that when I go off. Get my notepad organised. John William Stickley. John William Stickley of Thundersley. I've been there for something. Thundersley. I can't remember what for. Probably delivered something or collected something, I guess. AKA JWS. Lovely. Thanks, Paul. That's great. I've got a couple of pictures to put on as well of what did somebody send me? The Jubilees, the 4-star, was it? And the 5-star or something? And Paul sent a couple of pictures and a little bit of video of his Bimbo box as well. So I'll put that together and put that on, which is the last one we sold. If I go over there again, let's go to the Bimbo box page. So this one here, the last one we sold, which was in a bit of a state, to put it mildly. It didn't work. It's now all fully restored and works great and looks great. So yeah, I think people like to see that. And hopefully this one will get the same treatment as well. This one's not so bad. It's not in too bad a nick. It could do with, you know, sort of stripping and revarnishing and this rat's nest of wiring sorting out, but it does work. But not sure it would pass a pack test by the looks of things. And sort of the trees and the grass is all a little bit faded, as happens in these, so I suspect somebody might try and colour it up a little bit again. Just to brighten it up, freshen it up a bit. A great thing, love it. So hopefully it stays in this country. That's the one, you know, with the complications still at the minute of exporting stuff out into Europe with the Brexit, etc. It's making it a bit trickier at the minute. It might put some of the European buyers off buying it, because Europe, they go mad for these things. They absolutely love them over there, so they tend to end up going to Europe. So hopefully this one will stay here as well, like the last one did. Also made his version with a gift vendor. Oh, right. Don't know if I've seen one of those. JWS gift vendor. I'll make a note. I'll add it as a machine, and we'll hopefully we can find a picture of one. Gift vendor. Because the Ollie Wales gift vendor, then there's a really big elephant gift vendor, which is one coming sometime. Someone's nearly restored one. I don't think I've seen a JWS one. Interesting. What's this? Somebody asked a question and somebody else has answered. What was that about? Oh, right, the spares, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we sold thousands of spares over the years. They're just, gosh, it would take me forever to try and find some meaningful way of kind of categorizing them and you know, doing anything with the old historic prices on spares. But from now on, they'll all be recorded on there. In due course, once we've sold a lot of spares, there might be a way of splitting them up a bit into, I don't know, bandit spares, all-win spares, whatever. It makes some sense to people, but it's not exactly a priority project at the minute. All on Penny Machine site. What is? Oh, the JWS machines. Oh, right, okay. The Sun posted history of JWS there about a year ago. Oh, right. Oh, it'd be good to track down. Try and do an interview with them or something. They also posted history. They also did one of the Beramat conversions at R&W. It wouldn't be the curvy plastic one. That, I bet it's that one, isn't it? Yeah. They have a RW badge on, don't they? I've probably got them under unknown maker, the plastic fronted one, this one. Let's see, because I've sold a few of those. Unknown maker. What have I got it down as? God knows. There's so many machines I need to. What would that be down? Let's try it the other way around. Let's go for one we're looking for. Multi-reel, 3-reel machines. I think I called it a plastic front bandit or something. I didn't know what they were called. MNOP, can't spell. Yeah, this thing here. Let's get a big, yeah, it's going to be that, isn't it? Ah, yes, JWS. Aha. Aha. Excellent. Let me know what they are. Marvellous. Another bit of the jigsaw puzzle done. JWS Plastic Bandit. Alright, it's going to be my job for the year when I sign off, sorting this these JWS machines out. Yeah, because Rougher and Walker didn't really make anything as such. They people made stuff for them. Mostly they were just a reseller of stuff with stuck their badges on. A bit like Samson as well, Samson Novelty. They all got. See, that's got R&W on. That one. What's this one got on it? Oops. R&W. R&W, I think that one's got on it. JWS. How interesting. So they did some with R&W in the casting, and some with JWS in the casting. What's that one? R&W. JWS. Interesting. You see, you learn something every day. Plastic front bandits. The elephant gift vendor and the pusher. Lovely. They made them for me, yeah. A bit like all the film ups are made by Cortines, weren't they? It's all badged up. Rougher and Walker. The Laughing Sailors that what's her name's made. The ice hockeys. That I think Cortines made the ice hockeys as well, actually. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Yeah, these are quite funky little machines. They're always sold pretty well, really. Look at the prices we've got from $360 for that one. I think that one might have had working lights in it from memory. I think you might have had it lit up. I'm not sure, you think a Bandit with a Perspex front, I'm sure a lot of them must have got damaged, broken into, or just, cigarettes stubbed out in the day of, everybody smoking. So there's probably not that many. I mean, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I've sold over the years. I've seen a few others, but not that many. So there's probably not that many of them survived in decent nick at least. Lovely lit up, yeah. I was saying earlier, this kind of all this era of stuff, late 60s, you know, 50s, 60s into 70s stuff seems to be what people want. The stuff I like, which is the sort of 30s stuff and earlier, doesn't seem to be very popular anymore. Maybe that means I'll be able to buy some more for my collection. Who knows? I also think of the stuff I left over there. I remember years ago when I was buying and selling a lot of stuff. If you remember, we sold a brand new in a box Cascade some time ago, which made quite a lot. A Cascade or might have been a Cascade Deluxe, one or the other. Might have been a Deluxe, mightn't it? Let's have a look. Bell Fruit. Cascade Deluxe, was it? Yeah, this one here. So back in 2016, gosh, doesn't time fly? Cascade Deluxe, this one was brand new in the box, never been out of the box, never been screwed on the wall. And it made at the time £1,200 plus 10%, which was, I think, must have been a world record price for a Cascade. I mean, the one before it we sold for £240 as an example, and that was not exactly in bad condition. As you can see, the glass is pretty good on it. I remember being in an arcade, and there was a row of them under the guy's workbench. There was 10 or so, probably, new in boxes, 50 quid each you wanted for them. No, I don't want them, because at the time that was about what we could get for them. This was probably, must have been late 90s, I guess. And I left them all. If only I'd have known then. Oops, dropped the pen. But so I don't know what happened to that one we sold. There probably was one of those machines. Chances are, so they were literally brand new in the cardboard boxes. Just stock that never gone out on site. So I don't know where they all went. So yeah, not many new machines left in boxes. How are we doing over here? Anybody else got any questions about anything? Ideas? More juicy information on JWS or anybody else come to that? Oh, yeah, excuse me. It's always late nights. Stevie says, I have a Harman Kardon machine, brand new in a box. Oh, excellent. Then I've got a picture of one of those. You have to email me a picture. I had some, what were those ones I sold a few years ago? Vending machines. What have I got them under? I haven't got condom vending machine section. Under unknown. Might have been before pre-Elephant House auction days. A Stimula, that was one. No, not that one. Gosh, what was it called? It was a brand I hadn't heard of before. Quite a nice looking machine. It's not on here. I can't remember what it was. No. Go away with your hot nuts, I guess. Something new, lovely about new old stock, but then you're scared to play it. Yeah, that is the trouble with them, isn't it? It's like, what makes it unique is that it hasn't been touched, and then you don't want to touch it because you ruin it. It's like the old, people who collect dinky toys, isn't it? New in the box, and then they're tissue paper and everything, and you take them out and you halve the value. So or wine. I could never understand people collecting wine, and there's a lot of money in it. I used to work in London doing the decorating. We did a job, a big house in where was it? Somewhere in Kensington. Was it Bryanston Square? I can't remember which one it was now. And had a huge wine cellar under this house. I mean, massive, thousands and thousands of bottles of wine. And it was a really nice guy who owned it. We got chatting to him quite a lot about it, and he was explaining, you know, even back then, this is, bear in mind, I was 18, 19, so this is 30 something years ago. You know, some of these bottles of wine were thousands of pounds then, but you couldn't drink them. You had to have this very expensive, it's all air conditioned, this cellar to keep these wines in, and climate controlled, and God knows what else. Cost me a fortune to insure it in case any of this climate control stuff all went wrong and all the wine got too warm and ruined it. But I was saying to him, well, how do you know it's not already ruined? Because if you open the bottle and drink it, all the value's gone. Or even if you open it to test it, the value's gone. The value in the wine is the fact that it's never ever been opened. So, but you don't know if it's any good or not. It's a really weird thing to try and get your head around. Very strange market. But yeah, guys seem to do pretty well out of it. But yeah, new old stuff. I like the old spares. We've got a what did I put on the spares? Something new. Yeah, this roll out of barrel artwork. It's a simple little thing, but it's never been on the machine. Just a brand new thing. For the brand, these were the domino conversions. Sole Agents Samsons of Holborn. So that's a have I got them under? Have I got a listing under Brenner for them? Brenner. I must. I've got. That's another thing I've got to do is do this index of manufacturers into last name, first names. At the moment they all go by first. Brenner. What's Brenner's A? Isn't it? A.W. Brenner's. D. Brenner. No. Can't remember. Brenner's, Brenco. So it's my type. We've got it under 3 reel machines. I'm looking for roll out of barrel. Roll out the barrels. Oh, BW Brenner, not AW Brenner. There we go. Yeah, so there we are. Yeah, there's the so we've got brand new that artwork. That was a hand painted one. What was that one? Different again. I think that's just a cutout or something, isn't it? And that one. So there we are. If you've got a roll out the barrel machine, if you've got that machine, look, you need a new bit of artwork for it. We've got one, brand new, never been used. Oops. I have about 30 of them. 30 what? Condom machines or roll out the barrel artworks? I had a lot of condoms. I bought years ago. I bought well, I bought a lot more than I ended up moving. I moved 4,000 vending machines. They were all down the back of the garden here. I'll try and find some photographs of them sometime. We ended up having pathways. They're all stacked up in pallets. Pathways of Kit Kat machines to walk on. There's that many of them. Nearly every vending machine you see now, Kit Kats, Polos, Beech Nuts, Cadbury's, on eBay and through the auctions all come out of that batch. And I left a lot more than I moved. And they were they come from Northampton way somewhere, I think, remember rightly. There was a big company that operated condom machines, and they'd bought all these when they would come off the walls to convert into machines, and they went in their own machines. So they just had pallets and pallets and pallets. I've never seen so many vending machines in your life. Yeah, a lot of them got thrown away. Mum got fed up with them in the garden, so I had it in a bit of a temper one day. Called some skip men, and the whole load got skipped. So they had a very good deal out of it, I'm sure. Hey ho, I'll have to try and find some pictures out of that, because you won't believe how many machines there were. It makes quite an amusing picture. There was some nice stuff as well, some nice rare machines amongst it. Little things like the old girl vendors, they were quite nice, and have I sold any of those lately? I can't remember. What will they be under? Sweets probably. Yeah, so all these beech nut machines, and these beech nut machines, yeah, they all come out of that batch. All these things, these great big blue things, the whole was about 100 of those are moved. Yeah, there's a few of these old girls, and lovely little machines, those. Terry's, yeah, there was some of those. Pascal, some of them, all sorts really. Wrigley's. Yeah. Ridiculous photographs out, I don't know where they are, but people like it. Where did I get to here? Something lovely about the old stock. Yep, I've got about 30 of them. Yep. Any more from anybody? Any questions? Any comments? Any ideas? Anybody got 4,000 vending machines in the garden they don't want? Do let me know. Come back over here again. So these finish in 2.5 hours. It's another little job. So I need to put a I don't know, like a red board around things if they're ending tonight or something. You know, ending now or something. Those who like leaving things to the last minute. So that's something else on my jobs list. What would be the closest train station for view and collection? The closest will be Cambridge. Cambridge has got 2 railway stations now. It's got the original one, and it's got like a Parkway station, which I've never used, so I don't even know where it is, to be quite honest. I think this might be the wrong side of town. But postcode here is CB25. So it's about 7 or 8 miles or something into the train station. Or depending where you are, Newmarket is roughly the same in the other direction. And it'll be on, I think it's on some different lines go through Newmarket station. So either Newmarket or Cambridge is about the same distance to here. Whichever's easier for you. I shouldn't think it's very much. Let's have a look on see what an Uber is to the Cambridge station. Yeah, excuse me. Sorry if I just deafened anybody by coughing into the microphone. Where to? So from here to Cambridge station. From here to Cambridge railway station is telling me on Uber is £18.56p. And if I search for Newmarket railway station, if I can find it, let's have a look. Newmarket, oops, can't spell. Newmarket, Newmarket train station. Newmarket, £14.52. So yeah, either or, less than 20 quid anyway. So yeah, if you're coming sometime, just let me know. This coming week, I can at the moment just about do any day. I'm not around one day, but I'm not sure which yet. But the weekend coming up, the 26th, 27th, I can't do because we've got family stuff on the go and a little job to do. But tomorrow looks like I'll be here all day Monday, Tuesday, and maybe I'll be out Tuesday, I'm not sure yet. Friday I should definitely be around Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are basically one of those days I won't be, but I'm not sure which yet. Any more questions of anybody? Anyone need to know anything? Actually, this is emails coming in. Does anybody need to know anything on an email? Somebody did. Somebody replied and not put anything in an email, so that's not terribly useful. Well, delete that one. If not, then what's the time? Shall we give it another few minutes in case anybody's typing a question that they need to know an answer to? Or we'll call it a night, and I will go and update the stuff on JWS. We've got a bit more information and found out they made something that I didn't know they made. So that's good. And we'll see you all. So the next live stream thing, I don't know whether I'll do on Tuesday or not, because the only results are going to be on these books. I'm sure no one's terribly interested in that particularly. So it would probably be on Friday night with whatever new stuff's arrived in the coming week. There's a nice Film Stars Bandit arrived. There'll probably be small spare parts. Might be another enamel sign or two coming in. So it was sort of a little bit of everything probably. I'm not aware at the moment of any big loads of stuff coming in this week. But it is only Sunday after all said and done, so I don't know. It tends to be, you know, as was planned. If people are coming to look at something or pick something up, they drop something off with them, which was the whole idea of this. So we never know what is coming in. So if there's no more questions from anybody, it says there, my end, it still says there's 12 people looking, but there probably isn't. I'm sure there's a delay in these things, in these numbers on here. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So I don't know if anyone's still watching or not, so I could well be talking to myself, which is not unusual. But I'll give it another couple of minutes, and if there's no more questions off anybody, nobody needs to know anything, then we will call it a night. As I say, it'll probably be Friday night for the next live stream thing. Books finished tonight. Spare parts are up and running for machines, and the spare parts wanted will be available in the next couple of days probably. I'll get that bit going. Then the next major project after that is to sort the Fairground Art section out and get that up and running. These are just example things at the minute. So we can start selling some signs and bits of paintings and carvings and whatever else we can find. So that's the next major project, which I probably won't get around to doing much on this coming week, because I want to finish off the spares bit. I've got a few things to do for the weekend. So realistically, it's probably going to be next week when I get onto that. So is it going to be done by the end of June? Just about. It'll be tight, but I was hoping to get it done by the end of June. That was always the plan. So I do try hard to stick to deadlines. But, you know, life gets in the way sometimes, as it does for all of us. So I think that's probably it. I will bid you all farewell. Thank you very much, if anybody is still watching, and we'll catch up again on probably Friday. If I do decide to do one Tuesday, I'll stick a little note up on the website, and we'll go from there. There we are. So night to night. I am signing off now.